still believe in the original ideas, but it's harder and harder to stick to them and to be hopeful and optimistic about the future, considering everything that has happened. Part of the problem here, as I mentioned to David, is the fact that these atrocities have driven the country, the Israeli society, almost crazy. And since I talked to David, and since this was printed, there's a new story breaking in Israel, which has to do with sort of an Israeli Abu Ghraib jail, if you'd like. All kinds of. It's not only
and it's based on a lie. All right, the story is that Israeli soldiers like anally raped some Palestinian prisoner. It turns out that the anal wound that the guy suffered was self-inflicted, perhaps because he was trying to shove and store a cell phone up his ass. But I noticed so many people on the Israeli left were just so quick to want to believe that these Israeli soldiers were rapists. Right? There was a great emotional need.
Palestinian accusations. It's actually the military police who are now investigating such charges against Israeli reserve soldiers who presumably tortured and even raped a Palestinian prisoner.
Right. He's got this deep emotional need as a leftist to want to believe that these Israeli soldiers tortured and raped a Palestinian terrorist. Right. He's so invested in that perspective.
So this is, again, I'm not saying that this never happened in 48. Perhaps it did, and perhaps there were terrible events in the war of what we call the War of Independence during that time. And yet we've moved forward. We've become, in many ways, a westernized liberal society, in spite of the occupation, in spite of the problems with.
Move forward, right? Move forward if we become more liberal as opposed to nationalist.
Palestinians. But some of the things that are happening right now, it's hard for me to acknowledge that this is the Israel I know and I grew up in. It's very, very hard. Like many other Israelis, I'm having a very, very hard time.
Yeah, Israel's moved to the right.
Accepting this. I hope that things would improve. But I find it difficult to believe in that, considering what's happening around us right now, everything that we discussed, including the Hezbollah threat, and also considering our current leader. The fact that Netanyahu has been in power for so long is very problematic exactly regarding these issues.